Hi, I've been a Paralives skeptic because it felt like a pipe dream that's been talked about for so long. And I do love The Sims, and a lot of talk about Paralives in the past centered on how it was going to be so much better because Sims 4 sucked. I was honestly almost anti-Paralives if I could be bothered at all. And then last week, I heard the release was imminent and I started seeing videos about it. And OMG, I was blown away. I think I saw a Lil Simsy Bill video first. What do you mean there's a color wheel and we can resize anything? And then I watched a character being made. Wow, the customization was there too. Sliders for every feature, again with the color wheel, scaling of skin details like birthmarks and tattoos, height difference. Plus, I loved the hand drawn art style. And the world is gorgeous. A village around a castle on hillsides? Stop, I'm breathless. Add in the drama surrounding The Sims now, specifically the sale of EA, but also the future development of the property itself. I decided I had to give Paralives a try. On the train ride to Molino, the town, the world of the game, you meet pre-generated characters. You can choose to play those households or create your own. I was especially touched by the story of the O'Reilly household and Florence and Faye's 30-year marriage. That told me what kind of world we're dealing with. I decided to create my own character. I didn't record it. It was chaotic because I was new to the Paramaker and probably more because I was trying to make me roughly. So here we have Antonia visiting the museum in town. Little does she know she'll be working there, but I'm getting ahead of myself. The physical aspects of the creation are fun to play with, and then you build a rough personality. Well, not a rough personality, but roughly a personality. This is a screenshot after a bit of time, but you can see the four core attributes: physique, mind, creativity, and charisma. You get 7 points to distribute between them. I'm always going to choose creativity, and then mind felt important too. Charisma and physique each got 1 because there were dire warnings if you tried to leave one blank. After that, you choose a vibe with overjoyed, gloomy, energetic, serious, and jester to choose from. I don't know why I couldn't bring myself to choose gloomy. I was intending for Antonia to be a brooding, reclusive artist type. Instead, I gave her a laughing mask, alongside the social perk of good at being alone. I could have chosen good at cooperating, at making friends, at romantic relationships, at taking care of others, or good with family. And then talents. I chose jack of all trades to keep my options open, but there's art, fitness, food, music, technology, and good at nothing. Talents affect how your skills advance. And then lifestyles, which was below the scroll, are a few optional traits you can add. Of course, I added the vegetarian trait, which was a standalone. Then there were sleep habits. I chose night owl. And cleaning habits. I'm sorry to tell you, I chose slob. You don't have to choose any of these, but I felt like they were integral to Antonia's personality. Here's Antonia at home, asleep after her first day. You can see the game screen here. In the lower left, the 2 icons of the house and the parafolk are the 2 modes of the game, build mode and live mode, I guess. I chose a ready-made house, the one next to the elementary school, just so I could get into gameplay right away. I changed the bed and the wallpaper in the bedroom. I'll look forward to building soon. Antonia looks like that because this is her choice of pajamas. I saw it, I couldn't resist. Above those icons, the little moon represents sleep. This icon is always the action the para is involved in: sleeping, sitting, running, cooking, painting, sometimes more than one at a time. Above that, on the edge of the screen, are pop-up panels for a variety of things. Let's start at the top. The simplified little head and shoulders figure leads to a profile like we saw earlier with the attributes, the vibe, the talents, etc. Next are the goals, which stick around. Once, W-A-N-T-S, appear above the needs to the right, and they disappear and recycle regularly. These goals are after a few days, after Antonia got a job. I had already completed a set for settling into the house, which included putting a decor item up. When you complete a set, you get a reward, cash, XP, something like that. The box icon under that is the household inventory. You find things that you collect in there. I also put part of a pizza that Antonia made in the inventory to see if I could save it. It wouldn't go into the fridge. Stay tuned. Under that, the two figures are pairs that you have a relationship with, acquaintances and friends. Next, the briefcase is job information. The light bulb shows your skills. Paralives have umbrella skills they call knowledge skills, with sub-skills under that. So music is a knowledge skill and guitar is a sub-skill. Fitness is a knowledge skill and exercise is a sub-skill. Food is a knowledge skill, with cooking being a sub-skill underneath that. And the cloud is what's active right now on the screen. Moving to the right, the 3 blocks at the top of that column hold the para's wants. These are temporary goals. They come from different sources and you can choose to add them or not. If you add them and don't complete them, sometimes your para gets sad. Below that are the needs. You can see that Antonia's sleep need was low, it's going up. The little green face next to it shows that she's actively working on it. From the top is food or hunger, sleep/rest, bio, hygiene, me time, and fun. I think me time shows up because of her good at being alone social perk, and fun is there because of her jester vibe. Below the needs are like emotion cards. Of course, asleep is more of a state, but if we fan those out, you might see things like sad, happy, embarrassed, etc. This is one place that wants come from. Also in this area, you'll find together cards when you're interacting with another para. More of that later. At the top, just right of center, we see the money that Antonia has, 2,974 paradigms. She started the game with 30,000, but spent about 27,000 on the house. This is Monday, so she hasn't started her job yet. The staircase and the arrows are how you move the camera to different levels of a building. The thumbs up, thumbs down are for reporting bugs and feedback to Paralives. It opens a form in an external browser. The eye is an information guide. Speaking of the form, I really like that I can leave the game and come back easily. Sims is such a resource log on my computer, I can't even really open a browser window or my notes app. Moving along, the camera takes in-game photos. The newspaper comes every morning, and you sometimes get messages with the envelope. In the bottom right is the game clock, the day, and the pause and speed controls for the game. Paralives doesn't automatically speed up when your para sleeps, like in The Sims, but you can choose how you want to do that here. And then Antonia is off to work. I don't know why I chose a shift that starts at 7 a.m. for my night owl. I think I didn't realize you could choose something else. You can see that her portrait has changed. She has her work uniform on. Her action is the briefcase. She's heading to work. Her primary emotion is showing amused. I always think it's jolly fun to run to work. A couple wants have been added. I think the first one I accepted asked me to place an easel in the house and raise her painting skill. I have a certain amount of time to do that, hopefully after work. The other is a general raise a skill want. Might as well do them both at the same time and get the credit. And the needs, sleep rest is maxed. For some reason, hygiene is being ignored. I think that's related to the jester vibe. She doesn't appear to get stinky when this happens, it just doesn't matter. Work is a rabbit hole at this time. You can't even watch them once they enter the building and start work. And there she goes. Here's the job panel. Her job, receptionist, and where it takes place, the museum/library. Her rank, 1, she's just getting started today. Pay is 250 paradigms a day. Time and what days worked. No earned vacation days there on the right. That tab to the left tells how many hours until her next shift. I took this shot after she left, so she had 18 hours to go. When they're at work, it says that. Performance is under that and anything that affects it, like her mood. Why did she have a good mood and only a 65% performance? Maybe because it was her first day? After her first day, I did get to upgrade her to rank 2. I also could have chosen an offered perk for the boxes below, but since one of the goals is getting to a rank 5 in a job, I thought this was more important. After work, I checked one of the bulletin boards around town. Townies post tasks for other parafolk. Someone writing a book asked me to do interviews with other paras. That's how Antonia met Emma Wade. She is simply darling, isn't she? After you talk for a bit with a para, you get the option to direct the conversation. These are the together cards. The red one at the top is the interview question from my task. The storyteller showed up here, which is not a regular occurrence, but apparently Emma and Antonia are destined to be friends. After that, Antonia talked to a few more paras, then went home, made a frozen pizza, and went to bed. I'm going to stop here because this is getting long, but there's more to the adventure. I'll continue and maybe even add video once my camera skills in game get better. I'm looking forward to more of Paralives, but I will still play The Sims. I love the characters, both the townies and my own. I genuinely love some of the worlds, and I love a lot of the gameplay, and I especially love the community. But I'm glad that Paralives is here, and I take back everything I ever thought about it. Night.